So y'all, today we're gonna be learning every single difference there is of movie Sonic and game Sonic by watching a video by my brother Chow Mix. And from my perspective, which is an outsider looking in, the only difference to me is game Sonic has 10 arms and movie Sonic has blue. Plus you guys told me that Long Claw is not in the games and that Tom isn't either. Also guys, look what I bought, bro. I bought a freaking Sonic cover. Look at this. It got Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails on it. Look at my brother Miles. Look at that boy Miles, y'all. Look at Miles. Y'all, the new Sonic fan hype is freaking real. And guys, my mom was telling me to put it on the wall, like over the posters. And I told her I don't know about that because I feel like it will look tacky. You guys let me know what you think. Should I put it on the wall like she said, or should I just, you know, keep it on my chair, like, or on me? I don't know, y'all.
The Sonic movies have done what was once thought impossible.
What's that, my brother Chow?
Not just one, but 3, and soon to be 4, actually well-received video game adapted films. This
hey,
level of success
I watched
is
Sonic 2 off screen
in the world of video game movies. And much of the success of these movies
dang, why Shadow look like he's trying to rinse somebody up? I'ma shut up.
The spirit of the source material. And yeah, I'd say they did a pretty good job. The team dynamic between Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, the whimsical yet chaotic nature of Dr. Eggman, the inner turmoil of Shadow the Hedgehog. But at the end of the
Shadow
day,
looking
video
real.
games and movies are two completely different beasts. And concept and execution are also two completely different things.
Whatever that means.
To tell a story at most, the movies have taken creative liberties when adapting Sonic's expansive lore from the very beginning. This has led to both minor tweaks and major overhauls in how the stories are told, resulting in some pretty big divergences between the game and movie universe. And especially at this point, 3 movies in, the Sonic movie universe has carved its own
is that Ivo and Gerald? Bro, it look like Jim Carrey playing them both.
Truth be told, although the game and movie Sonic's universe might seem similar enough on the surface, they're actually very different, and I want to talk about it.
That's what we watching you for.
And today we'll be going over not some, but every single major lore difference between game Sonic and movie Sonic's universe.
Go ahead, my brother. Oh, hey, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all gotta hit it. Come on, hey, wait, we watch his video, y'all, and his theme song. Come on, this is the dance we gonna hit. We gonna come on, y'all gotta hit it with me. Come on. Matter of fact, we gonna rehearse it. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Come on, bro!
The first Sonic the Hedgehog movie isn't really a direct adaptation of any specific Sonic game, despite having the exact same title as Sonic the Hedgehog in 1991. It has almost nothing in common with it plot-wise. For real, right out the gate, the movie establishes pretty hard that it's going to be doing its own thing. First off, the movie gives Sonic an origin story, something the game's never really bothered with.
You guys told me that!
Sonic's past is pretty much a complete mystery.
We don't know where he come from!
Already at peak coolness. Here,
bro came from a Burger King, all I know.
Living on an alien planet known as Mobius. Mobius is definitely a plot element borrowed from the Sonic Archie comics.
Oh, for
that
real?
Is its own entirely separate continuity.
Yo!
In the game, Sonic simply lives on Earth.
Wait. So, the Archie comics came up with more? What? Do y'all know how insane?
Named Longclaw, a large owl who acts as Sonic's mentor.
Big Mama Longclaw.
This is a movie exclusive character who, if I had to guess, is probably inspired by the mysterious owl totem pole.
Y'all told me that too!
Found throughout Sonic 1. It's a really peculiar bit of lore in the games that's never really elaborated on, but honestly, I like how the movies bring it to life. The next difference is the Echidna Clan is still alive in the movie, actively hunting Longclaw for reasons that we'll get into later.
They doing drive-bys on birds.
The story told in Sonic Adventure, the Echidna Clan was wiped out ages ago by a wrathful god known as Chaos.
Y'all told me that
Sonic escapes his home by using a ring portal and ends up on Earth. Yeah, rings in the movies are basically portals to other worlds. In the games, there are certain rings that function somewhat similarly like the special stage rings. But other than that, they're basically just things Sonic collects to tank a hit, as long as he's holding on to at least one. Also, Sonic being foreign to Earth is vaguely similar to Sonic X. But again, in the games, Sonic has always lived on Earth. So now that Sonic is on Earth, the majority of this movie is set in Green Hills, which places Sonic in a real-world setting, Montana, USA, rather than the fictional South Island in the games. Yeah, in the games, Sonic's world is a weird mashup of fantasy landscapes, futuristic cities, and
it looks insane, like the future in the game.
A lot of the zones were definitely based on real-world locations,
it's San Francisco.
But they weren't actually those locations. Just look at the map. This is Earth, but it's not our Earth.
Wait. Y'all, there was a character in Sonic Unleashed that had that same flag. She was a reporter, and she was asking the people that lived in Missouri, like, what was going on with Eggman and everything. I forgot to tell y'all that, my bad.
It's not our Earth. It's like a fictional alternate Earth with continents that resemble ours, but we also have this.
Dang!
Anyways, unlike his game counterpart, movie Sonic lives in secret,
hiding his whole
from
body.
humans. Game Sonic, on the other hand, everyone knows who he is. He's kind of a legend.
Swimming.
In fact, humans and anthropomorphic animals...
Wait, he's a legend? Bro, that's what y'all was telling me. Because remember you guys corrected me when I said that humans looked at Sonic as a criminal? You guys told me that everybody loved him.
Everyone knows who he is. He's kind of a legend. In fact, humans and anthropomorphic animals with superpowers kind of just coexist like it's no big deal.
You know how crazy that is.
Movie Sonic is still figuring things out. He's a total rookie and has a lot of growing to do, which we definitely see as the movies progress.
He's just a kid, right?
Game Sonic has always been a seasoned pro, even from his first game. No tragic backstory, no learning curve.
He grew up with
immediate peak performance.
He grew up with gangsters.
He's a very static character, similar to someone like Goku. The dynamic nature of the stories and most character growth usually comes from the people around him he makes an impression on. We also learned that the Sonic movie universe is a lot larger in scale. What I mean by this is that Mushroom Hill, for example, a level in the Sonic game universe that's located on Earth, is its own entire planet that Sonic is able to travel to.
Are you serious?
Via his
oh yeah, it is!
We eventually get introduced to two of our main human characters.
So in the game, the Mushroom Planet isn't a planet. It's like a place on Earth, like a map. That's insane. I never knew that.
Characters, Tom and Maddie Wachowski.
Hey,
Once
Maddie!
Again, these guys are completely exclusive to the movie universe.
Yep, you guys told me that too.
Most human characters in the movie are original, including Wade, Rachel, and a bunch of other side characters that pop up over the course of the 3 movies and a TV show. Almost none of them exist in the games. This isn't to say that the game universe doesn't have humans though. Like I said, the Sonics and humans coexist. And there's plenty of games with human characters that play a decently important role.
Maria!
Another difference is that the movies introduce a brand new concept where Sonic's quills contain insane amounts of energy. Game Sonic's quills are just quills. At
so
most,
he's
they
just
look
fast.
A little bit sharper when he goes super, but that's about it. Sonic also gets a bunch of flashy electricity effects when he runs in the movies. In the games, his speed is more about wind trails and blur effects. No crazy elemental stuff. Anyway, Sonic's speed ends up knocking out power across an entire region, which is how he ends up on the government's radar. Overall, I'd say the government could care less about what Sonic is doing in the game universe, usually.
They let him do whatever, huh?
For a certain black hedgehog. Sonic's speed causes
Shadow about to get him
damage,
killed.
Hey, he saves the world, so what can you do? In the movies, the U.S.
I
government
always wondered,
decides to send doctors.
That answered my question. So that means Sonic don't pay taxes. Okay, that I always wanted to know that. Okay, thank y'all.
Robotnik to investigate. Yeah, Robotnik is hired by the government in the movies. And surprisingly, he's not totally evil. Not yet, at least. Just a little eccentric. But the more he fixates on Sonic, the further he spirals into a full-on supervillain. Game Eggman, on the other hand, skips this descent into madness and just starts out already insane. Another difference is that Movie Robotnik doesn't use badniks powered by captured animals. Instead, his machines run on electricity and eventually Sonic's stolen energy from his quills. Actually, the entire Eggman pollutes everything theme from the games is completely gone in the movies. I guess they aren't really interested in tackling environmentalism. Instead, we get Agent Stone, Eggman's human sidekick, another character made exclusively for the movies. In the games, Eggman does sometimes rely on assistants, only they're usually robots like Orbot, Cubot, and more recently, Sage.
Sage! You guys told me about Who are you?
The movies go hard on the idea that Sonic is an alien. It's why the government is so hell-bent on finding and capturing him. At one point, we get some interesting Eggman lore, something that's never really addressed in the game, so it could be true. But Eggman casually mentions that he was an orphan. Not that it really matters, but kind of an interesting detail.
He can't be an orphan!
Sonic and Eggman's first encounter, officially kicking off their rivalry. Meanwhile, in the games, they've already been mortal enemies by the time the first Sonic the Hedgehog game starts. Another thing almost immediately noticeable is that movie Sonic is considerably more childish than his game counterpart.
He is!
He's off, makes pop culture references, and has energy levels that suggest he's been living entirely off of Monster energy drinks. Game Sonic, while definitely snarky, is way more composed and confident. While he'll never hesitate to exude style over his opponent, he's definitely more mature. One thing the movie really focuses on is taking a deep dive into Sonic's loneliness and his longing for connection.
He been lonely in that movie.
Sonic is perfectly content with being a wandering drifter with no fixed address. He doesn't necessarily mope about not having friends, even in Sonic 1. He just keeps running and friendships naturally happen.
He like
also,
a
the way Sonic's speed is depicted in the movies is wildly different. Instead of just moving fast, we get to see Sonic's speed more from his POV, depicted as slowing down time around him. Game Sonic.
That is true. We did see Sonic speed from how it looked in his perspective. Cause in the movie, bro, remember he been doing all that stuff when they been fighting. It looked like he been moving quick, but they was moving slow. That was in his perspective. And guys, you want to know something else? I realized the difference of Game Sonic and Movie Sonic. Game Sonic likes adventure, so he wouldn't have cared about moving from Green Hills to San Francisco. He wouldn't have cared at all. Should we even want to help them move?
It just runs fast. Oh yeah. Movie Sonic flosses twice, a reality we all must come to terms with. Another funny difference is that Movie Eggman's base of operations is a truck. Just a big-ass, high-tech truck.
18-wheeler!
Underwhelming when you remember that Game Eggman has entire fortresses, space stations, and at least 2 Death Star equivalents.
I don't know why,
but yeah, he origin for his iconic red shoes. Mandy's niece gives them to him because his old ones start falling apart.
Game Sonic just stole them.
Sonic just has his iconic red shoes from the get-go. In fact,
stole them
they
jump
hardly
first day.
ever come off. Unless it's to give him some updated kicks usually only seen for a single game and then never again. Eggman's outfit is also a
good
bit
shoes.
They
ain't rip
by
up
the
yet.
end of the movie, he starts looking at least a little bit more like his classic self. Big mustache, red coat. Yeah, he's still pretty skinny and has a full head of hair, but he's slowly getting there.
Before the depression.
Quills, Eggman is able to make his machines match Sonic's speed, which is honestly the only logical way he'd ever be able to keep up with him. In the games, through sheer engineering genius, I suppose, Eggman somehow manages to chase
But why
Sonic
does
with
Eggman
machines
have
that
cream?
should not be able to keep pace with him, but somehow do. He's just that guy. The quill also lets Eggman counter Sonic's weird time-stopping speed tricks, which effectively balance the playing field. At one point, Eggman expresses interest in dissecting Sonic for science. Game Eggman doesn't really care about the scientific breakthrough via animal testing part.
He just want to kill.
Usually just take over the world and build Eggman Land with some variety thrown in it. In the end, Sonic
what good is Eggman Land if everybody is dead? Y'all think about this, bro. Him destroying the Earth. A couple people died when he in Sonic Unleashed when he destroyed the Earth, like when he messed it up. Like 100,000 to 1 million people died. By the time Eggman finishes Eggman Land, does that mean everybody gonna be dead? Nobody gonna be able to go there?
Defeats Eggman by banishing him to another world via a ring portal. The government is forced to cover up the whole Eggman situation, erasing all records of his involvement.
With that freaking...
Meanwhile, in the games, Eggman regularly commits massive acts of terrorism, and the world kind of just deals with it and trusts Sonic is going to take care of it each time.
For no reason. Why is he doing this?
To pry information about Sonic out of Tom and Maddie, but they refuse to say anything.
With that freaking, what that restaurant called?
Sonic is forced to live in hiding for the most part. But the movie ends with Sonic officially being pretty much adopted by Tom and Maddie. That's right. Movie Sonic has parents and a home. Meanwhile, Game Sonic continues to be a free spirit wanderer that sleeps wherever he collapses.
We don't know who his mama and daddy is.
Looking a little bit more like his game counterpart, is left scheming on the Mushroom Planet.
They went to go get the milk.
The Sonic movie leaves us. Eggman is stranded, Sonic has a family, and somewhere the VFX team is trying to keep the memory of the original Sonic design.
Nobody didn't want to see that. Get out the screen.
But before we continue, I'd like to show myself for a second.
Hey,
making my own video game. Welcome to Star
make your own game?
A cross between 2 gameplay styles inspired by Kirby Air Ride City Trial and Sonic Adventure 2's Child Garden.
Way! I know you guys probably don't want to see this, so I'm gonna skip through. You guys get what I'm saying. I know you probably already watched this video. I'm gonna find out more about this game. Presently about to find out more about this game, but for y'all, the video continues. Are we back?
Sonic the Hedgehog movie is loosely based on both Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
For real?
Yeah, from here on out, the movies try to borrow more and more from the games. Since it has to work with the lore the first movie already established, a lot of the lore is already wildly different. But not necessarily in a bad way. Movie 2 opens with Eggman still stuck on the Mushroom Planet. Using Sonic's quill, he
looks stressed out, ain't it?
It's here where he runs into Knuckles the Echidna. Eggman and Knuckles immediately team up,
look how pretty the mushrooms
to take down Sonic and retrieve the Master Emerald. And yes,
he really got dreads.
Sonic 3, where Eggman manipulates Knuckles into thinking Sonic is the bad guy. But Knuckles' backstory, well, that's where things get slightly
Knuckles
different.
dumb behind
In the movie,
believed
Knuckles has been searching for Sonic almost his entire life, convinced that he knows where the Master Emerald is. Just like in the games, he's the last of his tribe. But how he got here is very different, which we'll be getting into soon enough. But anyways, Movie Sonic has now fully embraced the idea that he's a superhero. He even calls himself Blue Justice, despite
the hood Batman.
The whole crime fighting thing. Yeah, even a whole movie and Sonic is still somewhat an amateur. All the theatrics aren't really Game Sonic's cup of tea anyways, as he doesn't really seem to do anything for glory.
He do not care.
The responsible parent, lectures Sonic for wrecking a city while trying to save the day, something Game Sonic is probably grateful he never has to deal with. Tails makes his debut appearance in the movies soon after. He tracks down Sonic after detecting his energy wave from the first film. In the games, Tails meets Sonic on West Side Island and starts following him around like an overeager fanboy. Same concept, but...
Is it explained where movie Tails comes from? Since Sonic comes from, his planet, does Tails come from his own planet too? Like I don't. And y'all, this right here also goes back to a question I asked y'all. Like, how did Sonic and Tails meet? So basically, like he said, Sonic and Tails met because Sonic saved them, and Tails just became like a huge fan of him, which also led to them becoming brothers, like best friends. That's cool.
Different execution. Anyways, Eggman and Knuckles track down Sonic at the Wachowski house.
Bro, look how you open that door.
Fight. It's a pretty cool fight, but actually in the games, Knuckles ambushes Sonic while in his super form and punches the Chaos Emeralds out of him. It's kind of one of the most insane person
Bro, how you punch? I got hiccups, bro. Bro, he punched dude so hard, he went from yellow to blue. Yo, he punched Sonic so hard, he went off the screen. Look at the Chaos Emeralds on the ground line up, and Sonic gets off there. What? And bro smiling. That is devious.
But in the movies, the fight happens inside of a suburban home instead of a mythical jungle island.
I know Tom is pissed off.
Same energy. But then we get the big change. We learn that the Master Emerald is not just the Master Emerald. Instead, it's made up of all 7 Chaos Emeralds combined. Which, if you know the games, is not how that works at all.
You guys told me this.
The Master Emerald and Chaos Emeralds are completely separate, and whoever wants to collect them needs to find all 7, making the task very difficult. In the movies, Knuckles thinks the Master Emerald belongs to his tribe and is on a mission to reclaim it. In the games, he's more of a guardian of the thing rather than an heir. He doesn't see the emerald as a birthright. He just protects it because it's his duty. The movie also establishes...
I thought it was like, it belonged to his family, so he was automatically like the protector. I thought since he was the last one alive, like his family made the emerald, so that's why he kept it. That's what I thought. You learn something new every day.
The Echidnas once used the Master Emerald as a weapon, which is why the Owl Clan, the one that Longclaw is from, stole it and hid it away. But her people would be wiped out by the Echidnas as the Echidnas wiped out by the Owls. And little did we know at the time, but the encounter with the Echidna Clan and Longclaw at the beginning of the first movie would be the finale, finishing off the 2 clans once and for all.
Bro, they stabbed my girl in the ribs.
Echidna who stayed behind. Knuckles. So yeah, Longclaw apparently solos the rest of the Echidna Clan off screen.
She soloed them?
Fucking based as hell. But anyway,
she soloed them by herself? That 1 hour get in the 1-2 good night. All them boys with the arrows and all kind of crap. She ain't even got hands. She don't got hands. She got feathers. Shoot, if you had me, I think she wanted to die. She picked to die. She was like, I'll die now. That is
wildly different than what happens in the games. In that universe, the Echidnas were wiped out by Chaos after they got greedy with the 7 Chaos Emeralds, using them for power to wage war and conquer land. I have a whole video on the Echidna Clan lore, so make sure to give it a watch if you're a huge Sonic lore head like myself. It's good stuff, I promise. So Knuckles has been tracking Sonic because, as we learn, he has a map that leads to the Master Emerald's hiding spot on Earth. Meanwhile, in the games, Knuckles actually has a sort of 6th sense to detect where the Master Emerald is.
That's
no need for a treasure map. He senses it in his feet. Shoutouts to Hunted Heat. Definitely a really cool guy with no controversy whatsoever.
No. I know the song. I can sense it in my feet. I can feel it inside me. Yeah. Wait, what he do? I ain't none of my business.
At any rate, Eggman sets up his new base of operations in a coffee shop, which is a bit of a downgrade from the last movie and an even bigger downgrade compared to the games. But sure,
went from my ATM wheeler to a restaurant
somewhere. Also, Angel
live
Island,
in a Starbucks.
Not a thing in the movie universe at all. Instead, locations like Mushroom Hill, Ice Cap, and Angel Island Zone are loosely represented by real-world places scattered across Earth like Hawaii and Siberia.
Oh, that's cool.
Over halfway into the movie, Gun, the Guardian Units of Nations,
I thought this has been going
finally
on
shows up. But here, they're brand new.
Gun?
In response to Sonic's...
That was Gun in the movie? Bro, when I watched it, I just thought it was the police. I did not know it was Gun. So you mean to tell me that Gun actually exists in the Sonic movie universe? I'm gonna watch the Sonic movie 2 again, bro.
Presence from the first movie. In the games, they've existed for at least 50 years.
That's cool.
Long before Sonic was even a thought in his parents' head. We'll get more into them and their huge lore differences in movie 3. Anyways, the Master Emerald ends up being locked up inside a labyrinth-style temple in Hawaii. This is very obviously a reference to Labyrinth Zone from the first Sonic game, which is pretty fitting considering that the level had a ton of mysterious owl-themed architecture in it anyways.
That is cool.
However, in the games, the Master Emerald has always been kept on Angel Island, with no Indiana Jones-style traps involved. Labyrinth Zone really doesn't have anything to do with the Master Emerald there. So Eggman, being Eggman, betrays Knuckles and steals the Master Emerald for himself. This does have...
Anybody can steal the Master Emerald if Knuckles ain't there, if it ain't got no traps or nobody around it, because he the only Echidna. So why the freak wouldn't Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails have like a base or a house on that island. What are they thinking, bro?
Games too, except movie Eggman takes it a step further.
He's
Instead of just stealing the emerald,
Knuckles been twerking on that emerald.
Games too, except movie Eggman takes it a step further. Instead of just stealing the emerald, he absorbs its power and becomes a supercharged, godlike being.
Look at him.
Eggman
He became black!
Definitely doesn't do that in the games. But you know what? Maybe he should. I think we
He's
need
a
more
black
Eggman
man!
power scaling in the games, because, like, this is insane.
He's so happy. He an African American. He can say nigga.
So Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles team up to stop Eggman and take back the
This is
Emerald,
so cool to
which
see in
is
the movie.
technically how things go in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but with significantly more explosions. Eggman then builds the Death Egg Robo, using his powers to combine scraps from Gun's equipment and other various technologies.
He played Minecraft.
Yeah, in the game, the Death Egg Robo is the final boss in Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and it's something Eggman constructs the old-fashioned way.
Bro's robot look like a Cabbage Patch baby.
Something Eggman constructs the old-fashioned way. Robot slave labor. Anyways,
what
Gun
happened?
actually gets involved in the battle, which is funny considering that this is supposed to be an adaptation of Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. They don't really show up in the immediate story until Sonic Adventure 2 a few games later. Tails pilots the Tornado, which is mostly accurate to the games. Except in the games, the Tornado originally belongs to Sonic.
Wait, y'all, so how long do these games take place, you know, between each other? Like, is it a week after, months, a year? Like, is all this happening in the same year, or does it take months, you know, years, freaking a week? I don't know. You guys gotta let me know. I don't know.
Pilots the Tornado, which is mostly accurate to the game.
'Cause look, he built a helicopter. There's no way.
Originally belongs to Sonic, and Tails just takes over flying it.
For real?
It seems that Tails just
Sonic got a plane.
I don't recall ever seeing Sonic having a plane in the first movie. Eventually,
Where's Sonic get a plane from?
The Master Emerald back, and we immediately get to see how it differs from the game by shattering into 7 individual Chaos Emeralds.
Y'all, Sonic might be a drug dealer. I'm sorry, bro. He got a plane. I'm gonna be
Sonic
quiet.
Absorbs the Chaos Emeralds and transforms into Super Sonic, which thankfully is pretty much one-to-one with the games.
That is so
Except for the part
cool.
where he summons a chili
Wait,
dog
he
out of thin
changed his
air,
colors?
which raises some very serious questions about how the Chaos Emeralds actually work.
Exactly.
Both universes say that they can turn thoughts into reality, but the movies take that to a whole other level by literally allowing Sonic to spawn objects out of thin air.
I didn't notice it fell in his eyes. It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's Glizzy Man.
Pretty crazy stuff. Another thing is, unlike the games where Super Sonic burns through rings and eventually reverts, the movie version of Super Sonic makes it seem like a permanent transformation unless Sonic actively chooses to let go of the power.
That's
Tails even
stupid,
mentions that
though. I
Sonic
didn't like
chose
that.
to give up the power, which, if true, would make these things totally busted in the movie universe.
It
Now, that's what I
would.
love to see. By the end of the movie, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles officially form an alliance to protect the Master Emerald, vowing to never use its power. Yeah, sure, that'll go well. In the games, the Chaos Emeralds at least aren't really guarded or protected by
Shadow!
anyone. Sure, the Master Emerald is protected by Knuckles alone, but the Chaos Emeralds are pretty much fair game to anyone who can find them. Unless they start falling into the wrong hands, then Sonic and friends usually do something about it. Tails and Knuckles also officially move in with Sonic at the Wachowski house. This is a
6
huge
people in that
departure from
little
the games,
house?
where Sonic and his friends don't live together. They
live
each
in
have
it.
their own lives, as we know.
Like,
In
he's
fact, Some of
depressed.
them even have their own houses.
For
Here,
real?
they're basically a sitcom family and have a pretty different dynamic. It's definitely more familial. Speaking of family, Sonic even calls Tom Dad, which, to be fair, is probably about as far as Game Sonic's vagabond lifestyle as you can possibly
It
get.
does.
And that's the end of the
I've
second
never
movie.
heard
It
Sonic-
combines and blends together story elements from mostly Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but as we just witnessed, also some Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 lore along the way.
What was
so
it?
far, the stories of the Sonic movies is a really abridged and amalgamated version of various Sonic lore.
It seems like
But
his
I'm not
own
gonna lie,
universe.
I'm definitely still here to stay for the ride.
And from what I've seen, bro, I've realized that Sonic without Tom would have been caught already by Eggman. I want you guys to think about that, bro. If Tom never took Sonic in, Sonic would have had to stay up 24/7 because they were looking for him. And from the 2 movies I watched, Sonic also gave Tom like this sense of like having a child. It gave him this sense of purpose. Because remember, Tom felt like in the first movie, he felt as if like he ain't had no purpose in Green Hill. Remember, y'all, he wanted to leave to go to San Francisco because there was more crime and stuff to do there as the police. I feel like Sonic coming into his life, Sonic gave Tom a reason to live, And Tom was freaking, he's a dad to Sonic. They both needed each other.
Knuckles. Not the character, but the TV show.
Knuckles had a TV
that goes
show?
off in an entirely different direction.
Knuckles had a TV
any
show?
Specific game storyline whatsoever. And even compared to the movies, it leans way harder into comedy.
What in the world is going on?
There are a few interesting things here that set a big precedent.
That's where that's from?
Changes. Throughout the show, Knuckles gets visions from Chief Pachacamac, a deceased Echidna Clan leader.
I know he's been dead.
Pachacamac was a power-hungry warlord responsible for the destruction of the Echidnas.
He been evil.
He existed long, long ago, way before Knuckles' time. Also, in the movies, he's way goofier than his game counterpart. Like, I'd never be able to look at this guy from the movies and think of the same
bro got a Foot Locker shirt on
from Sonic Adventure. Never be able to look at this.
Bro is a hippie working at the freaking bowling alley, selling drugs too, inside of the bowling alley. But in the game, it look like he just like this. He Omni-Man.
That's what he's bloodthirsty warmonger from Sonic Adventure. At one point, the show randomly references Iblis and the Flames of Disaster. These are plot points from Sonic 06 of all
Sonic
games.
06!
And let me tell you, that was probably the lore I was the least expecting to see in the movies.
Low-key, y'all gonna cook
Iblis
me.
is described as a fire demon wielding the Flames of Disaster, some kind of special fire ability. Knuckles allegedly defeats him and gains the power for himself. And by the way, this is all told through a rock opera-styled stage play. But anyways, this is probably one of the most severely altered plot points in the entire movie universe. In the games, Iblis, also known as the Flames of Disaster, is a massive fire monster created when the Solaris project goes wrong. It was sealed inside Princess Elise when she was a child, but when she cries, Iblis breaks free and wrecks everything, leading to a ruined future where Silver and Blaze have to try to stop it. In the end.
So Mephiles. So as you guys know, before I became a Sonic YouTuber, the only Sonic game I actually beat was Sonic 06. So Mephiles shot Sonic to get Iblis out, which is why freaking Silver called Sonic the Iblis trigger. I never caught on to that.
Sonic, Shadow, and Silver erase Solaris from existence, wiping Iblis out and undoing everything that led to its creation.
Dead.
It involves time travel, alternate timelines, and a whole lot of reality warping chaos. But in the end, none of it technically ever happened because Iblis gets erased from all possible timelines. Needless to say, these two iterations of Iblis are extremely different. But ultimately, the Knuckles show doesn't have much of an impact on the larger movie timeline. Besides ruining a few potential cool future plotlines for the movies, it's more of a side quest than anything else. Knuckles has some wacky adventures, but none of it really matters in the grand scheme.
I never knew he had a show.
Mr. President, put this on.
Wait. Is that Tom? Yeah, that was Tom. Yo, that's Tom right there. Boy, what Tom doing gun for? Boy, ain't no way Maddie put him on child support. All right, y'all.
But now
Sonic
we
movie
get into
3.
the real meat and potatoes. The third Sonic movie is heavily based on Sonic Adventure 2. I'd say this is the most direct adaptation of a specific game we've had so far. But that still doesn't mean it's going to follow the story exactly. Right off the bat, there are major differences. Prison Island? It's
Tokyo!
an island in Japan now. In the games, it's just a non-specific jungle facility. And remember, Gun is still new in the movie universe. In the games, they've been around for decades. Shadow is still in stasis in both the movie and the games, but how he wakes up? That's a completely different story. In the movie, Shadow is awakened by Eggman's own grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, who hacked into Gun's computers and, yes, is alive in the movie.
Where he came from?
Tell, this dude is dead as hell in the games. And we'll definitely be getting more into that later. In the games, it was Eggman who released Shadow after discovering old journals from his grandfather mentioning Project Shadow. Eggman learned that the results of this project yielded in the creation of a weapon of ultimate power that would be none other than Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow wakes up in the movies and immediately starts wrecking gun soldiers because of course he does. But the biggest difference here is that there's no Scorpion Troops hotshot. Come on, this is like the best boss fight ever.
Hotshot?
0 out of 10. Please try again. Gun asks Sonic for help dealing with Shadow, which is like the complete opposite of what happens in the games. In Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic gets mistaken for Shadow and gets incarcerated by Gun.
Did that happen in the movie?
They have to break free and escape.
Does it happen, bro? If this happens in the movie, bro, I will upload another video tonight. If this happens, bro, this right here was my favorite freaking part about Adventure 2. How they kept mistaking Sonic for Shadow, even though he black and he blue. Bro, please tell me this happens. Come on.
Pursuit.
Please.
Sonic and Shadow meet for the first time in Tokyo instead of a San Francisco-inspired city. And unlike the games, Tails and Knuckles are present for their first encounter. In Sonic Adventure 2, it's just a straight-up one-on-one. Also, we see Shadow use Chaos Control to warp around, without a Chaos Emerald, mind you. Don't get me wrong, I think Shadow is able to...
Did he do that in what a thing called the movie y'all maybe watch? Project Shadow. He did that in Project Shadow. Remember he disappeared and he can't control it. Remember he kept disappearing and stuff. Bro, so that means that really ain't canon, because, bro, he needs a Chaos Emerald to do that.
Chaos Emerald, mind you. Don't get me wrong, I think Shadow is able to use Chaos Control without an Emerald in the games, too. I have a full video on it, actually. But in Sonic Adventure 2, he does happen to have an Emerald at this point, which he uses to warp around Sonic. So, yeah, as we know, the Emeralds aren't really the same in the movies. They're all inside the Master Emerald, and these guys aren't going to be lugging this thing around everywhere they go. It'd be pretty cumbersome. But it's kind of funny, because in Sonic Adventure 2, the entire plot revolves around the 7 Chaos Emeralds. They're used to power the Eclipse Cannon, which is the main world-ending threat plot device used in both this movie and the game.
You mean Squidward?
Does get a motorcycle and a gun in the movie, so I'll forgive it. Even in his pistol, though. He doesn't do anything like this until a few games later in Shadow the Hedgehog 2005. But I'm glad the movies threw this in. Chow exists in the movie. Pretty cool. But the monkey's paw curls. In the movie universe, they're only cafe mascots. They don't have any connection to chaos or the echidnas.
Dang! So Chow's are just a regular restaurant like a Chuck E. Cheese. Bro, why would they change? Why? Why wouldn't they make that's dumb. Bro, that was one of my favorite parts of Adventure 2 too, bro. Because remember Chow would tell us, okay, Sonic, to get over here, you gotta do this. Bro, that's dumb. Why would they change that? That is crazy.
Enough,
so where did Chaos Emeralds come from?
Chaos might not exist in this world after all.
What?
Crazy to think about. All because of a cafe. Oh yeah, Shadow's origins are very different. It's the same general concept, but very different execution.
What do you mean?
In the games, Gerald Robotnik creates Shadow the Hedgehog as the ultimate life form 50 years ago to cure his granddaughter Maria's illness and discover the formula for immortality. In the movie, Shadow is an extraterrestrial being who crash landed on Earth via meteorite 50 years ago. And because of this, Gerald and his team weren't just studying him, they were actively using Shadow as an energy source. But
Are
Gerald
you serious?
wanted Shadow's power for himself, and
they turned my boy into a slave? So you mean to tell me you take an alien in, turn dude into the slave, then did Gerald just decide, you know what? Bumpy, he ain't doing it for y'all. He want to do it for me. I need him for myself. I want him for me. That's so selfish, bro.
Plotted against his team.
I could understand if he made him.
Games where Gerald's largest reason for being on Project Shadow was to save Maria's life. It's also very clear that movie Gerald is a lot more evil. Sure, in the games, the professor does plot to destroy the world, but that's only after he's driven to madness due to the death of Maria. Movie Gerald doesn't really have anything happen to him, yet he's running off secretly with superpowered quills to do who knows what.
Are you
eventually
serious?
Leads him to being found out, and his attempted escape results in Maria's death. Yes, let's get the elephant out of the room. Maria died.
Bro, what's the reason Maria got killed? Because they could have shot Gerald first. They could have killed Gerald first. Why did dude... I don't know, bro. Why did dude decide to stop and grab the gun? And then it looked like she didn't even get shot. It looked like he missed and shot something that blew up. Come on, bro.
Escape
Are you
in
serious?
Maria's death. Yes.
Look,
let's get the elephant out of the room. Maria dies from an explosion in the movies rather than being shot by a gun soldier like in the games. Sonic Adventure 2 has Maria, and the rest of the research team for that matter, die at the hands of Gun in an act of corruption trying to cover up the results of Project Shadow, where the movie has Maria die due to the consequences of Gerald's greed.
You
There's
idiot!
A big difference here.
Why is everyone spiraling?
Bro, leave me alone. I am grieving right now. So you mean to tell me, y'all, Gerald freaking tried to escape with Shadow and Maria, and the freaking gun, and he was also stealing quills from Shadow. So if he had stolen enough quills, doesn't that mean he wouldn't even need Shadow? Because you know how Eggman powered that portal with just a quill of Sonic's, fur. So why did... It's so stupid. Why did Gerald need to take Shadow's whole body when he could take enough quills and just power his machines off that? Bro, I don't know, man. Bro, this is confusing. Bro.
In any news, Eggman finally gains weight.
He look like me.
Closest to his game counterpart we've seen
Hey,
yet. So
my
finally,
brother.
after 2 full movies of him looking relatively egg-shaped, he's now finally embracing the round. For the first time, Sonic and Eggman form a temporary alliance. This is actually accurate to the games. However, in Sonic Adventure 2, they team up only at the last second to stop the space station from crashing into Earth. Here, it's to find out who's using Eggman's tech along with Shadow. Spoiler alert, it's Gerald. And as soon as Eggman encounters him, he double-crosses Sonic and joins forces with his own grandfather because...
Bruh, I don't like Eggman and Gerald, bruh. I ain't gonna say I don't like Gerald in the games, but in the movies, I can't stand them. I'm not gonna lie. This dude would help you, but still Sonic been on dude's side helping him, and he just decided to betray my boy because he find out his granddaddy... What? Where granddaddy been at the whole time you been alive? You about 45. Where your granddaddy been at? He abandoned you.
Obviously, family comes first.
Come on,
the Biolizard doesn't exist in the movie, which means there's no prototype ultimate life form. Again, in the movies, Shadow isn't an experiment, so I guess this makes sense.
So why are we...
The Biolizard played a huge role in the games, which I'll get into shortly.
So why are we even doing all
this?
this?
Cannon doesn't run on Chaos Emeralds in the movie. Instead, it requires 2 keys to activate and fire. Gerald and Eggman end up making a Team Dark of sorts that consists of the 2 Robotniks, Shadow, and Agent Stone.
Where my baby girl Rouge at? Where Rouge? I ain't gonna lie, they kind of rushed this.
But that's besides the point.
They kind of rushed this.
Rouge the Bat or even Amy Rose, who both
Mega
parts in Sonic Adventure 2's story. Also, a completely new character named Rockwell is introduced.
Oh, hey,
she
Rockwell!
Like 3 times and isn't too important, but she's a movie-exclusive gun higher-up that causes a few scenes throughout the movie. Shadow ends up severely injuring Tom in order to steal the last key to the Eclipse Cannon. This puts Sonic into a rage, which has him slightly feud with Knuckles in order to gain power of the Master Emerald. Yeah, you know, the whole pact they made to never.
They say F that pack.
Barely lasted in a movie. But anyways, this whole fit that Sonic has is really out of character in my opinion. Game Sonic would never use darkness or corruption. We see it in Sonic Unleashed when Sonic gets transformed into the Werehog, yet maintains his humanity. But I digress. So Sonic and Shadow fight each other in their super forms.
You serious?
Cool. It's unfortunately something that never happens in the game.
They ain't Shadow beating on him.
Fight on a few occasions, but it's only in their base forms. However, what's the same is that they both team up to put a stop to the space station. Because Shadow has a change of heart, but it's brought on by Sonic. In the games,
he had to change your heart after doing all that.
Shadow of Maria, where he remembers his promise to her to bring hope to humanity. So
we gotta finish that game. We gotta finish Sonic Adventure 2. We gotta finish it now, ASAP, bro. I probably will beat that whole game in a video, one video. We probably gotta do that and just call it a day. Then we gotta head to Sonic Heroes. Then we gotta do, I don't know, either Shadow Generations or freaking, I don't know. And the reason I'm saying I don't know is because I don't know if I want to do Shadow 05 or if I want to do Sonic Shadow Generations. I don't know. You guys, I don't know which one would be better. I don't know.
The movie. Well, it's got a similar concept, but pretty different execution from the games. In Sonic Adventure 2, the final battle is about stopping the space colony Ark, which is being dragged on a collision course towards Earth by the Biolizard. See,
bro, they shoot the lizard.
In the movie, it's about preventing the Eclipse Cannon from firing a laser and exploding Earth. So different methods, same world-ending.
What song is this?
Gerald actually end up fighting each other in the movie, which is kind of hilarious considering in the games, Gerald was already long dead before Eggman ever learned about it. Actually, it's Eggman that kills Gerald in the movies.
Eggman did what?
Unceremonious ways I've ever seen, might I add. In the
Eggman
games,
betrayed his granddaddy.
Kind of the complete opposite. He's executed by firing squad. Yeah, I'll never get over that. Sonic ends up losing energy in his super form by trying to stop the giant laser beam with Shadow.
Oh no!
A dramatic save by Tails and Knuckles. In Sonic Adventure 2, it's actually Shadow who falls to Earth and is presumed dead. Oh, and the moon gets sliced in half. Not partially destroyed like in Sonic Adventure 2. No, the entire thing splits right down the middle.
So they got a half a moon.
Himself and Eggman to stop the Eclipse Cannon by warping the exploding space station away from Earth.
Eggman
actually takes off his limiter ring too, which doesn't officially happen until Sonic 06, several games after Sonic Adventure 2.
He did it.
He does this.
What happened?
Since Sonic returns to the space colony Ark in Sonic Adventure 2.
The Rouge cry.
Inhibitor rings. So Shadow dies. A terrible fate the audience is forced to sit with for like 5 minutes until we see him come back in the end credits. To be fair though, this is pretty similar to the games. However, it's actually Eggman that retrieves his comatose body and incubates him back to health. He has amnesia when awakening, so we'll have to see if that's also the case the next time we see Shadow in the movie universe. Except Eggman, once again, is presumed dead, even though allegedly Jim Carrey is set to be down to appear in the 4th movie.
For real?
Take that as you will. I guess it really isn't.
Hey, I mean, I know Eggman ain't dying. That's Egg. That's OG Egger. That's my Egger. You know, my boy ain't never gonna die, y'all. Death scared of him. Who is death to the Eggman? Eggman is death. Come on, bro. Stop playing with him.
So different than the games,
Come
though.
on.
Sonic leaves Eggman to explode in his final boss mechs
Great,
all the time,
dang.
and somehow always manage to come out the other end and appear
But
in this
how?
game. Honestly,
be
I'm
dead.
not too worried about it. There's one more part of the third movie that leads
Hey,
to a
hold
pretty
on.
big departure from the games.
Hey.
The post-credit scene reveals an army of Metal Sonic units. No, not just one Metal Sonic, an
For real?
entire swarm of them.
A
In the games, Metal
unit?
Sonic is usually
He
a solo
about to get
villain.
jumped.
The movie certainly seemed to be setting up something different, so we'll just have to see what it is. Also, Amy Rose is introduced in the post-credit scene.
Amy!
And it's her that actually rescues Sonic, which completely flips their usual dynamic in the game. It's usually Sonic being the one to rescue Amy. But the introduction of both Metal Sonic and Amy does strongly suggest that the next movie is going to be pulling from Sonic CD. But given how things have changed so far and how the other movies have handled the plot of the
Look
source
at her
material,
hammer.
anything could happen.
I remember her hammer from Sonic X, bro. That's the only, bro. So I used to love Sonic X. I used to watch Sonic X when I was a kid, bro. It's funny, I don't know nothing else, but I used to, and I thought for a long time that Sonic X was canon. Bro, I love, bro.
With the movies becoming so
Ciao.
popular, it's becoming more common to see fans mix up the lore between game and movie universe.
I was
So
very
hopefully this
confused.
sets the record straight between the two continuities.
Yes,
I
sir.
think both games and movies has something very unique to offer, and it's fun to see how the movies change things up. I mean,
You
if
right.
they just followed the storylines to a T, there wouldn't really be much surprise, would there?
Yeah,
and at the
yeah,
end
you
of the
right.
day, if you want a one-for-one with the story, just play the games. They're not going anywhere. At least, I hope not.
I hope not, too.
Don't miss out on amazing
Hey,
deals.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Ciao. I'm gonna like your video, bro. I'm tired of these ads. Hey, guys, this video explained so much to me than the other one. Shout out to my brother that made the last video. But y'all, this video explained all the movies and then told us what happened in the games along with it. And there's a lot of stuff they cut out, bro. I ain't know, like, fam, if you would have told me that Amy was in the movie, I never would have thought that she would have been the one to save Sonic from our boy Meta. She saved him from Metal, y'all. And it's also a shadow. He got Shadow Clone Jutsu. He got like 10 different metals, bro. Amy saved Sonic instead of Sonic doing the regular and saving her. That is dope. I'm not gonna lie. And guys, I enjoyed this video so much. This video, Chow Mix be doing his thing. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. His videos are amazing. I love everybody's video we react to are amazing. I love learning more about Sonic, and I can't wait to play these games and freaking watch the last movie myself. I can't wait, bro. Because even though, like I always tell you guys, I catch on the key details. I don't really, like, stuff I don't want to remember or know, I know how to tune my brain off. So, you know, I'm good over here. Don't worry about spoilers. I'm good, bro. But if you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did reacting to it, go to Master Like button, go to subscribe to join the Keep Late Master family. I love you guys. LaShawn out. Gang.